Hello, welcome to this technical webinar where we will be discussing GP Pro EX security. Okay, this video will be part of a series of videos that will discuss a pretty broad topic about GP Pro in security. There's a lot of different aspects of security in GP Pro that I've kind of listed out here on this slide. I've kind of already put out a video discussing the connection key, so that's why I have that crossed off there. I'll put a link to that video in this video. And then what we're going to talk about today is what I've highlighted in red, and basically what we're talking about is how we set up security in the development environment, and then how we actually use it in the runtime. So here's our agenda for today. We're going to have an overview of security overall in GP Pro EX as far when it relates to basically runtime security, passwords, etc. Okay, we're talking, like I said, we're going to talk about how we're setting it up in the editing environment, and then how it's working in the runtime environment, and then we'll just show a brief in-action video using remote HMI. Okay, so getting into the overview. So enforcing security in the runtime and the HMI, we can do it in basically three different ways. We can limit screen access, we can limit access to specific objects, and then we can show or hide specific objects based on security level. GP Pro EX has three different runtime security modes. You can only use one at a time. You have to pick one. The original is just simply level mode. The next one is user ID mode, and then the third one is user ID enhanced. And basically the difference between user ID mode and user ID enhanced mode is more stringent requirements on passwords, special characters allowed in passwords, and then more characters in the user ID. And you can see here, there's screenshots from the editor showing you what it looks like in GP Pro EX for the three different modes. Okay, all security modes are level based. Okay, and there is one user logged in at a time. That's in user ID modes, and the other modes you're just logging into a specific level without a username. Levels are 1 the lowest to 15 the highest. And then basically when you're logged into a specific level, that gives you access to that level plus all the levels below it. So it's a level-based security system. Okay, this is what it looks like to set up security in the editing environment. So when we're talking about limiting screen access, so basically what happens is when we are creating a new screen, when we create the new screen, one of the things that we can select right off the bat is the security level. And note that if the security level is set to 0, that essentially means it has security. Okay. The next one here is that if you have an existing screen, you go into the screen list, right-click on the screen and say Change Attributes, and now you can come in here and change your security level. Okay, when we look at just specific objects and how we want to limit or add a security level to the different objects. So in this example, we're using a data display, and you have to have the extended functions on under the data entry tab. And then what you'll see is that down here, you've got enable security levels. And kind of the same thing in the switch lamp. So in the switch common tab, okay, you have enable security levels. That one indeed doesn't require you to go to the extended settings. Okay. The next one is showing or hiding specific objects based on security level. So what I'm showing you here is the way you set this up in the editing environment. So let's say we wanted to only show the alarm viewer when we're logged into a specific security level. What we'll do is we'll right-click on the object itself, and it's basically part of the animation settings. And now when you look at the animation settings and you check visibility, one of the modes of visibility is based on security level. So now what you can do is you can say this object will be visible when the level is greater than or equal to a set level. Okay, so logging in and using security in the actual HMI runtime. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Let me grab my pointer again. Okay, so a login screen is triggered, basically allowing you to either enter just your password if you're in just simply level mode, or your username and password if you're in one of the user ID modes. That is done basically if you try to operate a navigation switch that will jump to a screen that has a higher level than what you are logged into at the time. For example, that will trigger a login screen, or just simply using the login and log out or log off functions in the special switch. And that's by default behavior. Some of this behavior can be tweaked. That's not really for the subject of this video. Okay, so what we're looking at here now is the level, what the password entry looks like when we do a level-based only security system. So when I have to go enter a password, I simply get a numeric, basically a numeric, alphanumeric keypad. Okay, and the thing to note here is this caps key. It's a this is something to note because this caps key has opposite behavior, and it has a little bit of a unique behavior that you should be aware of. And basically what you're seeing here is, you'll see this is actually in lowercase mode with the way it's shown here in the picture, but you'll notice the characters are not showing in lowercase, so just be aware of that. Okay, this is what happens when you are in user ID mode. You basically get the same alphanumeric keyboard, and again, we're just noting the issue about the caps. This is what the login sequence looks like when we're in user ID enhanced mode. Basically what happens is I pop open again my user ID and password, but then the keyboard now looks like this. Again, I still have this caps button behavior. It's exactly the same. It's opposite. So right now it's in lowercase mode. And then you have a key that takes you to the special characters. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what this all looks like live in remote HMI, in a live HMI. Okay, so here we are in our remote HMI client, looking at our HMI. Happens to be a GP 6000 Advanced. I'm going to go ahead and enable touch here in my client. And when we look at this screen, this is just a real simple GP Pro project. This is base screen 1 that does not have any security level applied to it. You'll see here I have a go to button that jumps to screen 2, which happens to have a security level of 1. You can see here I've got log in and log off buttons. Here's a current, this is a text display connected to a £H variable, £H login user ID. So this will reflect the user that's logged in. Here are some system area addresses that apply to security. LS9300 is the clear, which allows you to clear the level. 9301 shows you what level we're currently at, and then 9302 can be a required security level. This is a little bit beyond the scope of this particular video. Okay, so what you'll notice is, for example, this switch down here, this switch has a security level, so you'll see when I try to operate this switch, the HMI does indeed bark at me. You may be able to hear in the background the beeper in the HMI. Just basically, I don't really know what's happening. I can't do anything with this switch though. You can actually set this to display a message for you when you're not logged into this specific level, but what I'm showing you here is the default behavior. So let's go ahead and let's just log in to our first level, and this is what the keyboard looks like. And what I want you to pay special attention to here is this caps button, because this has a little bit of a unique behavior to it. So right now with the caps button engaged like this, we are actually in lowercase mode, and you'll see that's actually not reflected in these characters. So for my first user, I want to actually enter a capital letter right now because the usernames are case sensitive. So it's capital U user. Now I go into lowercase. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and enter my complex password. Okay, I need a capital, I need a lowercase, and I need a special character. Enter. And you can see now I am logged in as user, and this is user level 1. And what you can see now is that I can operate this switch because it's set to user level 1. I can also navigate to the screen. Okay, and I can go back. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log off. Okay, now well, you notice if I try to go to the screen now, that will trigger the login. Don't want to do that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you I'm going to log into security level 4. Okay, and I won't bore you with it this time. So here you can see I've entered my admin and my complex password. Click OK to log in. And now you can see I'm logged in as admin. Here's my security level 4. And now what you'll notice over here is this object now is visible because I am logged into security level 4. Okay. So just like I said, just a brief video to kind of show the very basics of GP Pro EX security in runtime and how the login and the log off, etc., and how the different levels are behaving, and some of the different things that are available to you, different ways to use this security. So thank you for watching.